But Serena is a student of the Mind Rebel Academy. You are halfway through your training of becoming a certified professional coach. And I wanted to take some time to chat with you about your story. I think back to our very first call together, where we were in complete lockdown, midst of COVID. You are a rising Vegas star. And here Vegas is completely shutting down. Your singing career essentially like shutting down. And you used this time, essentially like, what's the expression, turning, like making lemonade out of lemons? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
You found your calling and did a really amazing pivot and started your coach training during this time. And I want to talk about that, because I think this is like, how inspiring is that? And I'm curious, Serena, walk us through what drew you to want to be a coach?
Well, I would say it's been a dream deferred for years. I have been told by several people, I would say probably in the last decade or more, that I should be doing some form of life coaching or motivational speaking. And the idea of it really, really petrified me. I feel like I have innate abilities and gifts to speak to people and connect with people, but it was something about that title that really, really scared me. And about 2 years ago, I started thinking about it more because I kept getting introduced to this path from people. And I always feel like sometimes you either know your calling or you're ushered into your calling. And I felt like I was really, really ushered into my calling by getting these little whispers over the years. And my best friend and I, who's also part of the MRA program, we had been looking, we went through several schools, and then she found MRA. And it really was within that first discovery call with you, Taryn, where I was like, okay, this makes sense. This feels good in my body and in my bones. And on top of that, like you said, we were smack in the middle of COVID. Yeah. My city shut down, my industry shut down. And in the 30 years that I've been a professional singer, this is the first time that I was out of work and not singing. And it was scary and challenging. And there's still aspects of this COVID journey that we're still on that feels like that. Funny enough, I didn't panic though, which is out of the norm for me. Because usually when something like, there's a complete shift in time and energy, there's like this, oh shit moment. And I didn't panic. And then when I had the discovery call with you, I knew that I wanted to be a part of this program. And it really, really was based on like the values of MRA and what you represent as a person and what the school represents as a whole, that really, really made me want to do a hard pivot and look at this calling that's been placed upon my life for years and just say, I'm going to do this. Despite what's happening around me, I'm going to do this. Wow. So that's what led me to MRA.
Yeah. So I want to circle back to something you said, that you were talking about this, this calmness that you had. Tell me more about that, because it's true. I'm thinking back to our conversation, and you were so calm and cool and collected, like just the chaos. There was just this steadiness about you and this knowingness. What was that?
Maybe it has to do with, when you're finally ready to step into something unknown, even though it's scary and very uncertain, somehow I think a calm comes over you. At least it did for me. And like I said, that was out of the norm. Because to be without work in any profession, but especially as a singer, and in my industry where there's so much uncertainty and no security within my career, but I love it. I don't know, God and the universe was telling me, just remain calm during this time. just remain calm. And maybe that's how I was able to really anchor into those whispers and not be afraid to listen to them, answer the call, right?
Mm.
Answer the call. You know, as you talk about the hero's journey so much, answering that call is a huge, huge first step. And it doesn't come easy because
No.
you really are stepping into uncharted territories and you're praying like, okay, I strapped myself in finally, this seatbelt is going to hold me. And I'm
Right.
trusting the process. I wouldn't say fully in the
Yeah.
beginning,
Yeah.
but
Like,
it's like, you know, it's like you get on the airplane, right? And you put your seatbelt on and you pray that you're going to make it to the other side of
mm.
this journey on this plane ride. And that's kind of how I stepped into this.
Talk to me about the resistance you felt to coaching before. What was that?
I think it was the fear of stepping into the unknown. I've had this one narrative about my life, which was I'm just a singer. I'm just an
Just a
entertainer.
singer. I'm just
Yeah,
right.
I'm just a singer, right? And I held on to that. I held on to that identity. It was important to me. It was sacred to me, and I didn't know anything else because I put everything into my career. 30 years,
Yeah.
which is a lifetime for most people in any career, and I put everything into it, and to kind of not necessarily step away from it, but step back so that I can look at it from a broader perspective and ask myself, okay, what is still here for me?
Mm.
Does it still give me the same I like to call it zazazoo, like fireworks, like
Mm.
passion? And it's a yes and no answer, which is probably going to be very, very surprising to people. But when something else is calling for you to pay attention to, it's really, really hard to ignore it.
Mm.
You know, even though like this feels safe and cushy and comfortable, and you know, I just kind of want to stay cocooned in my box. You
Yeah.
know, like I know what's in this container and this feels safe.
Yeah.
Stepping into something else, you're going to be met with some resistance, and
Yeah.
and I have been, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
I think that's really important to like call out and say
Yeah, yeah,
it's not easy.
no,
And we
no,
talk about that so much in the program. This is like stepping into your life's work and doing this work,
yeah,
moving from the unknown world into, right? And or moving from the known to the unknown world is
right,
terrifying and it's scary.
yes,
And you are buckling in your seatbelt and you're like, here I go.
yeah,
Um, I'm I have witnessed a shift in you over the last several months since our training began in when did we begin? I can't even remember now how long we've been in
yeah,
training for.
yeah.
But I've noticed a shift in you, and it's this confidence emerging, this
Mm,
authentic confidence emerging that like I can do this, and
yeah,
wow, like I'm actually going to be damn good at this. I can
yeah.
feel
Oh, that
it
makes me
in
want to
me.
cry.
Yeah. So tell me about that. Yeah.
At the onset of my journey in MRA, which began in October, I was hit with two major tragedies in my life. I lost my best friend of 20 years. And then, probably a month into the program, I lost my grandmother, who I was helping to take care of um, for months, especially during COVID. And I really had two choices, either to let the pain and the grief of that, which I still feel and deal with, literally swallow me whole, or make a decision to show up despite how I'm feeling, which has been a sense of brokenness and a little unraveling. But to have the permission to show up as you are and
Mm,
still trust the process and still know that, okay, not not sweep these emotions under the rug, like really feel the full range of the emotions. And over the years I've had a tendency to internalize stuff because I don't want to be anybody's burden, you
mm,
know, I don't want to be anybody's problem. I think you do a disservice to yourself when you are not honest about how you're feeling, you know, and especially as a woman, we constantly say we're okay when we're not. And this program, especially the practitioners program, which is so much about self-discovery,
Yeah.
like so much about self-discovery
Yeah.
that is uncomfortable at times. You're like, yeah, I'm not going there today. I don't want to go
Right.
there. But over the last few months, you find yourself wanting to go there more. You
Mm,
almost need to go there in order to get to the next point, right? To get to the next, I say to get to the next level of yourself. You
mm.
almost need to go there. It gets to a certain point where you can't fight not doing the work.
You can't fight it. It creates
No,
pressure cooker, eh? Right? It
it
creates
does.
total pressure
It
cooker. You
does.
can't escape it.
Yeah. And it's like once you get that awakening, I feel like it's your responsibility to yourself to not go back to sleep. Like
Mm,
that's easy, right? That's the known world. And you're so comfortable with that. It's like, oh, there's a problem. I'm not doing it today, But then, like you said, it's the pressure cooker, it starts to rise and then it's like, and then
yeah.
shit is all over the place.
And it's everywhere.
Yeah. And then
And
the cleanup is worse.
right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so liberating being in an environment, in such a safe, supportive environment where it's like that is celebrated.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
is like you are so wrapped up in love and we're cocooning each other as we all go through
Yes.
our process.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions, at least it was a misconception that I had before I started MRA training, was that you have to have it all together in order to be
Right.
a coach. And that is like the biggest
Yeah.
mistruth ever.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, showing up as your most authentic self is the best version of you, despite what is
Mhm.
happening. And if you can center yourself as much as possible, still dealing with all
Mhm.
these outside stressors and factors, you can get to the other side, but you have to be willing to do the work and put in the work, especially if you're in service of others.
Right.
I can't just show up and not deal with my stuff.
Yeah.
And this training, this program has allowed me to do that in ways um, that I wasn't prepared for, in ways that have really, really forced me to grow and build this confidence in a different way. And just has allowed me to just show up as I am, just show up as I am. And it's such a beautiful, rewarding, and gratifying feeling. It really is.
Mm. Serena, what is the vision? What is possible for your life now that you have said yes to this? What's the
Yeah.
vision?
It's that big, bold, beautiful dream that we always talk about. And it sounds cliche when you say it out loud sometimes, but when you think about it, when you think about what can be afforded to you and what's really, really attainable, and like really sinking into that and holding on to that, it opens up so many possibilities that you thought weren't there before, right? Before I started this journey, like I said, I felt like I was just this one thing, this singer, right?
Mhm.
Which I feel like I'm damn good at.
You are damn
Um,
good at it.
Thank you so much. But I feel like there's so much more to me that hasn't even been uncovered yet. This is just one phase of it, which has opened up a lot. Um, I feel like coaching is very possible and that I will be an exceptional coach because my intentions are pure. Like I love people on a deep, deep level
Mhm.
and wanting to connect with them and co-creating space for them to uncover their authentic self. Um, I'm so excited to see what that's going to look like. I have this vision, but I'm excited to see it actually come
Yeah.
true and come to fruition. It's
Yeah.
scary. It's a little scary too when you dream that big,
Yes.
because sometimes the world tells you don't dream that big,
Yeah.
you know?
It can be threatening for, especially for women to
Yes.
dream that big.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes. And then you take it a step further and you add another compounded layer to it, especially when you're a woman of color.
Absolutely.
You're definitely told like, okay, this is just the box you fit in. And that's it. Don't think outside of that container. There's nothing there for you. you know? And I've heard that over the years. And finally I was like, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not believing that anymore. We're not giving into that.
You are such an inspiration. Such an
Thank you.
inspiration to me, to the women in our program, to your community.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah. So you have come this far and we've still got a little bit of ways to go. We've still got, 4 or 5 months left of our training.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're in it, like it's still fresh. It's still so in it for you. And I'm curious, for anyone watching this who perhaps felt the way you did, like months and months ago before you joined, who felt, I heard you talking about you were the go-to person. Like you are the go-to person for your family, for your friends. Like you love this connection with people. And so many women, that's why they come to coaching. It's like they're informally coaching without the training.
Right.
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 Although
Right.
we don't necessarily know what coaching is at that time, but
Right.
what would you say to them if they were on the brink of like feeling the yearning, but also feeling the fear of, I don't know if I can be a coach, or, or I don't know if I can dream that big. What would you say to them?
Well, I'm a firm believer that the best way to conquer fear is just to go right through it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to feel easy, and you're gonna be met with so much resistance. Even this part of my MRA journey, as we started coaching our peers, even last week's session, which was so much fun, our breakout sessions, it
Yeah.
still felt like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm capable, if I can do
Yeah.
this. And then you get into the groove, and then you forget like all these limiting beliefs and like these negative self-talks that you constantly start with, and then they slowly start to subside and
Mm.
trickle away. I would say to any woman that is watching this and really wants to answer the call, just do it. Just
Mm.
do it. Like I promise, even if your end goal is not to be a coach, that practitioner's training program,
Yeah.
holy crap, it's so transformative. It really is. So if you are wanting to change your life in a major way,
Mm.
and having permission to dream that big, I would say just even start there and see where it takes you. But don't be afraid to start. It's just that one foot in front of the other kind of analogy. And if
Mm.
you just keep walking and staying on the path, I feel like I can promise this. It will be the most rewarding experience if you fully give in.
Mm. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually never asked you this question before, but why did you choose the MRA?
It was you.
Oh.
It really was you. And that's no smoke and mirrors. When I had our discovery call, which was about 30 minutes, I believe, within the first 5-10 minutes, it was like hook, line, and sinker for me. There it was your aura, the light around you, like the beautiful light around you, your passion, which no one can say isn't genuine. Your
Mm.
passion for this work, your calling to impact so many women, and the domino effect of that. It was that discovery call. And then I remember talking to Brittany, who's also
Right.
part of the program, about it. I'm like, I so want to do this. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen, but I need to be a part of this program. And I said the same thing to my fiance, and he was like, we're just going to figure it out if this is what you want to do. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm tired of not answering the call. This is going to keep gnawing at me until I finally do it. But it really started with you, Taryn. It really did.
Wow. Well, thank you.
It really
That
did.
means the world to me. And
Yeah.
to have women like you to be able to, like your light and the work and the like the fire I feel inside of you and the change that
Yeah.
you're going to make out in the world. And then for me to have this small little like year of your life where I can
Yeah.
help to nurture
Yeah.
your skills and support you and give you those tools to go out and make this ripple effect for the rest of your life
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it is the joy of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that's what you pray for, right? To, especially in this line of work, when you're in service of others, is the ability to impact others
Yeah.
and make a difference, aspire to inspire. It's how I want to live my life. When I think about my legacy, I hope it's that.
Yeah.
I really, really hope it's that. I don't have children, so I hope that that is my greatest legacy, that I left an imprint on this world in the best way that I
Mm, thank you.
could. Thank you.
You're making me all teary-eyed, and I've got tears
Yes.
everywhere. And I just am so grateful for this opportunity to just to share your story. And I can't wait for our alumni interview in like a year from now to talk about what you are up to, because
Yes.
the world, Serena, is your oyster. I know that
Yes.
for you, and I'm so excited to watch it all unfold.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for answering your call and your purpose. You didn't have to.
Mm,
You made a decision to, and you're changing so many lives. You really, really are. And I'm so thankful to God and the universe that we connected. I really am.
thank you.